I was remiss in not sharing with you how incredibly responsive and helpful Ed Boydo and his team have been to me and my team, especially working on really difficult issues. Thank you. In your budget materials, I noticed there's $50 million anticipated for transmission siting and economic development. And additionally, there's another $25 million for hydroelectric development. Can you please explain succinctly how exactly those funds will be used?
I believe those are federal dollars. Those are grant programs that we are going after. I don't know. I think we have to have authorization to be able to spend those. So if we've applied for ththose federal dollars through IIJA or IRA, we would have to have that in the budget.
So how much are you anticipating from the federal government?
For which program?
Well, for these expenditures that you're anticipating and want authorization for.
So I'm not exactly sure on the transmission side.
We know we're going to get $1.2 billion for broadband. You don't know how much you're going to get.
So we're getting $40.1 million for a grid program, a grid modernization program. Is that the program that you're asking about? The $50 million doesn't ring a bell for me.
So are these, you're staffing up, right? You're creating this department. Those are going to be paid for by federal dollars? I believe it's...
Some of it, yes.
Okay, so we're going to be paying for the administration of those federal dollars. And what happens when those federal dollars go away?
I think we would be looking for alternative sources of funding, or it's, it's possible that those positions would no longer be needed.
Okay.
It just depends.
So you'll be coming back to us probably asking for more money. All right. So you mentioned the significant IT costs extending multiple years into the future in a previous response. You seem to indicate those costs may not be included in the governor's budget as presented to us. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm not sure if they are or not. I think that's probably a question for Secretary Munson.
In fairness to you, I think we've known about the permitting issues at DEP. And I recognize that resources are sometimes necessary to help resolve issues, especially significant costs related to technology issues like this. I'm not sure why the governor didn't include it in your budget, but can you give us an estimate of how much IT money you're going to need in this fiscal year to fix this issue?
So I'm going to ask Ian to give maybe a little bit more detail, but we have RFPs that are currently going right now. I think we'll have a much clearer picture exactly how much it's going to cost. But for this year, we're asking for $7 million to kind of get that project started. As he mentioned previously, there is an existing IT spend that we have that's about $13 million that we think might offset some of those future needs in the future for IT.
Yeah, and this would be really helpful because I think it will help us prioritize our spending decisions when it comes to enactment of the final budget. There's a really important link with DCED and business relocation and permitting, and I think we have to address this.
And I think the governor recognizes that, and I think that's why we have this ask for additional staff and for permit modernization in the budget.
If you could get us those numbers, we really could use those numbers and understand if it is in the governor's request, if it's not in the governor's request. And if you want to follow up with us after the hearing with your response so we know exactly what it is, we're all going to have to make difficult decisions, and we need this information.
We can definitely follow up.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.